I see a lot of articles and videos online where people are giving out writing advice and they're telling people how they should write their stories, and they're talking about how important detail is, how detailed their stories should be, their characters, their worlds, all that stuff. But detail isn't the most important thing in a story, I don't think. Detail comes secondary, I believe. Readers are smart, readers can figure things out for themselves. Detail is not all that is chopped up to be. I understand that it's important in some aspects, but I don't think it's, you know, as important as everyone else is saying it is. You don't need to be super detailed in your story to make it work and to be entertaining for readers. So, for instance, uh, with your plot, you don't need context for your plot. You can just create a character, give them a goal, a motivation, and put some obstacles in their way. You don't need to give the readers context for that. Just make them give them someone to root for. Uh, a good example of this is my brother and I were at the gym a while back, and we were on the treadmills, just kind of taking it easy after a hard workout. And on the TV, they were playing Jeopardy, and the sound was off, so we had no idea what was going on. We didn't know if they're getting the answers right or not. We just saw the numbers on their score going up or down, and we saw the underdog, and we started rooting for him. We had no idea what was going on, no context, and we were still very entertained by watching this guy try to beat everyone else from the bottom to the top. And we didn't need the context. We didn't need to know what was going on. All we needed was a character, a goal, and obstacles, and that's what we had. You don't need a ton of detail. You don't need backstory. You don't need anything. You just need a character with a motivation and an obstacle in his way. Characters, speaking of which, shouldn't be complicated either. There's no reason to get so bogged down with details about your characters. I see a lot of people giving advice like, oh, you need to give them, you specify their hair color, how they talk, you gotta figure out who they are and everything like that. But to figure out who they are, all you really need to do is give them one or two primary traits and you're good. You don't need to worry about their hair color and how they dress and how they talk and what they look like. It doesn't really matter that much. All you need to know is kind of like what they believe and what their traits are, kind of how they what their personality is. Like, maybe this guy's a leader, this guy's shy, this guy's hilarious, this guy takes everything seriously, things like that. Just one or two traits for each character. That's all you need. Um, if your character is too complex that your reader doesn't really understand them, then you've lost your reader. And you spent so much work into alienating your reader from your character. And that's just a lot of time wasted, a lot of effort wasted, and it's harmful to your story rather than helpful. So make sure your characters aren't too detailed. Just give them some traits. Make sure they have something to believe in, have a goal, give them some obstacles. The other thing that I see a lot of people worried about is world building, especially in sci-fi and fantasy. Building a story world is very important, and I've seen plenty of very detailed story worlds. I've seen Roshar, I've seen Dune, I've seen Middle Earth. They're very detailed, very big, and it's entertaining. It's fun, but not required. Um, the entertainment doesn't come from them being detailed. The entertainment comes from them being built well. You don't need to detail a world for it to be built well. For instance, Hollow Knight is a video game where you play as a bug and you explore the vast world of Hollow Nest, a dead kingdom inhabited by a virus that is infecting its citizens, and you have to find the source of the virus and put an end to it. This game has no dialogue. Oh, it has some dialogue, but it's very obscure and it doesn't tell you exactly what you need to do or exactly what happened to the world. It tells you that there was a virus, everyone's infected, that's it. There is some history, though, to the world of Hollow Nest that you don't find in books or signs. No one tells you about it. You figure it out as you go. Um, it's not very detailed either. It's pretty broad strokes, very generic, but it's interesting because it does populate the world a little bit. It's not very detailed, but it makes that world a little more interesting. So just by hinting at some things, by hinting at histories, things like that, languages, other peoples, you can make a world so much more, or add so much more depth to your world without bogging it down in so much detail. There's no reason to be writing thousands of pages of world details before sitting down and writing your novel. While I think it's really interesting that Brandon Sanderson took 10 years to create Roshar for the Stormlight Archive, and while I think those books are very good, I don't think it's necessary for everyone to detail a world like that. It could be fun, and I'm sure Brandon Sanderson had a good time, but you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Just as long as you build the story well and make the setting part of the story, I'm sure you will do well, just fine in world building, and you don't need to make a detailed world with a bunch of history that you're not going to use. Readers are a lot smarter than writers give them credit for. They can figure things out without context. They can make connections in their mind. They can see patterns. They're not stupid. All you really need is a character in a setting with a goal and obstacles around their goal that's keeping them from getting what they want. The beauty of books is the imagination of it. When you're reading a book, you can see everything, and your mind fills in the blanks. You don't need all the details to understand what's going on or to see the environment around the characters. You just need the broad strokes, and your mind fills in the details. That's the beauty of books. It's really, really interesting, very magical. But a lot of people are trying to go so detailed into their stories that it's redundant. My mind already sees this. You don't need to explain it to me. And I don't want you guys to try to take away the imagination from your readers. I know you're trying to do them a service, and you think you're doing them a service, but honestly, I think it's a hindrance. That's just my opinion. If you have other thoughts, just let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this topic. I know it's very interesting, and might spark some conversation, because again, I know a lot of people think details are what make a story good, but I don't think that's the case. I think your readers can be smart. They fill in the blanks themselves. You just give them the broad strokes and have fun with it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope to talk with you guys in the comments. I have a Substack newsletter for anyone who wants to go there. I'll post newsletters. I post short stories, and if you become a paid subscriber, you have early access to these YouTube videos. And I also have some books out. I've got a standalone science fiction novel, the first science fiction novel of a trilogy, the second of which I'm writing now, and I have 2 fantasy novellas out that are part of the longer series if you would like to check them out. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.